Hi, Kieran here. In this video, we are going to be discussing safe handling and operation of DSLR cameras. Great image and video acquisition begins with great gear, and it only stays great if you are handling safely and operating properly, of course. With these things, the old iPhones and whatever, smartphones, they've actually got great image processing capability built into the phone, which is almost equivalent to what you see in modern DSLR cameras. The main difference though is that this little bit of glass at the back can't compare to the optics that we see in modern DSLRs, modern lens technology. It's the glass that makes all the difference. So safe handling. Let's start at the start. Holding the camera body and the lens in either hand underneath. So I've got the whole body of the camera and lens supported. I've got the strap in my other hand is the way to start, because we're generally sort of operating on top, looking down at the top of things. This is, for you real aficionados, is what's known as the Hasselblad grip. Hand holding the camera in the left hand for your right-handed people, and then being able to fire off the shutter, which on a Hasselblad is at the bottom. On this camera, the Olympus OMD E Mark V 2, the longest camera name in the world, the shutter release is at the top there. Okay, so always holding the camera from under the lens body, strap in the other hand. My advice would be, whenever possible, wherever possible, to be shooting with a tripod. Here's one I prepared earlier. The reason being is the tripod always gives you that great stability, means you can use slower shutter speeds and so on, and generally gives you a whole lot more support. But if you're not using a tripod, we'll look at hand holding in a second. So to get myself sorted out with the tripod that I've got sitting there, I first of all need to attach what's called the snap plate. This snap plate, or quick release, you'll see on the bottom, has a little thing for screwing on to the bottom of the camera. This one unfortunately doesn't have a D-ring. Often the D-ring makes it a little bit easier to tighten. So with this one, I might need to use a 10-cent piece to loosen or tighten. But the rule of thumb is to always attach the snap plate only finger tight. So as tight as you can get it with your fingers, and then a little bit of an adjustment to make sure that it's straight. Never over tighten, because this can strip out the thread and it costs thousands of dollars to replace. Don't do that. Okay, until I get it on the tripod, I'm supporting the camera from underneath. Every tripod that uses this kind of quick release system has the little quick release lever there. They're all pretty much the same. To operate, we need to release the quick release doodad, the little lever thing, place the camera in there and lock. And then it's a matter of just giving it a little bit of a test to see that there's no slop. If it is sloppy, in other words, if it's moving on the tripod, then we just need to tighten up the snap plate a little bit more. But once again, like I said, only finger tight. Okay, cool. When we're not using the tripod. It's a little bit difficult to show you this here because I'm in front of the webcam, but when you've been working on the tripod, it's time for a coffee break or something, the tripod should be stored safely out of any sort of traffic areas, not in between tables or anything like that, but up against a wall in a corner. The camera should be removed and sat under the tripod. As a very clever person said to me one time, it can't fall any further than the floor. That makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to pop this snap plate off now. I'm just going to make sure it gets attached to the tripod because they always get lost otherwise. So hand holding. The neck strap, of course, aptly named, goes straight around your neck. Another option is to wrist wrap it, and that way the camera can be dropped and always stays safe. Don't drop the camera. Okay. What else do we need to think about? Lens care, keeping the lens looking good. You'll see that my camera is capped, and that's because I'm not shooting. When I am shooting, the cap comes off into my pocket. Actually, this needs a little, I'd prefer it to have a little bit of a strap. And once I shoot some more, do some more shooting, moving to my next location, looking for my next subject, I'm capping the lens. Keep the lens capped whenever you are not shooting. Generally nothing appears in front of you quick enough for it to make any difference, so you can always just whip it off. Before I start shooting, I just want to see if I can see a reflection there. I'm just checking the front element of the lens. In fact, I don't have the front element in front of me. What I do have, this is a little bit naughty, don't try this at home. What I've got is a UV filter or some other optically neutral protector. Yeah, this is a UV filter. And the reason that's there is because it costs $5. The lens costs thousands. So for the princely sum of $5 or $10, you can keep your front element in good shape. The front of the lens, that is. The front element is the curvy bit at the front there. Never touch the filter, never touch the front element of the camera, of the lens, I beg your pardon. Don't breathe on the front element. Believe it or not, the noxious fumes in our breath can actually damage the coating on the front of the lens. It's bad juju to ever breathe on it and polish. That's how to ruin your stuff. The only way to clean these sort of precious things is with the use of a blower brush to remove any dirt or other bits and pieces, dust and hairs and things, and then a gentle polish with a microfiber cloth. Or if you've got tech support people, ask them to give you a hand with cleaning it. Okay, the last pro tip for lens care is never leave it pointing at the sun. Sometimes we take shots with the sun in there, that's great, 100th of a second, 500th of a second, 1,000th of a second, that's not going to hurt the sensor. If your camera sits on the tripod and points at the sun, soon you'll have a little barbecue going inside there. If it's in focus in particular, not good. That's how to destroy your camera. Wet weather, as opposed to sort of working in the sun. When we're working in wet weather, take an umbrella. If you don't have an umbrella, or if you get caught out, then any kind of clothing or fabric or something to sit over the body of the camera to keep the raindrops off. Very, very important. Okay. Let's talk about media quickly. The media that we're recording onto with this particular camera is your fairly standard SD card. Goodness me, look at how that focuses. Unbelievable. What you want if you're purchasing a a card is a minimum class 10 for recording vision and audio. A class 10 media rated card will give you data throughput that's more than enough to cope with the recording speeds of HD video and so on. And as these cameras sort of pack in more and more features, high frame rate, 4K, I'm sure 8K will be on these things soon. You need that data throughput. My advice with these little doodads is format them in the camera. So once you've got the card loaded into the camera, pop into the menus, format the card there. If you've got the option for a deep format, go ahead and do that. And the reason being is that you'll avoid any format's not the right word, any I suppose it is the right word, any formatting issues of the card. If we format the cards on a PC or on a Mac or something, then potentially the cameras don't like that sometimes. So the way the data is arranged is going to work if it's formatted in the camera 100% of the time. It'd be super unlikely for that not to work. Okay, so still on cards, media management is crucial. In a day of shooting, you might have any number of cards to work with. My advice would be as soon as you get to the place where you can connect up to your computer or what have you, then go ahead and transfer that data off to the machine and then to a cloud account. It's the easiest way to get things sorted out. Now we'll come back to that in a second. The data management. That's the first part of data management. As soon as you finish shooting, go ahead and back up. Okay. The other thing that you do after shooting is obviously get all your used batteries out. You might have only taken 10 shots, 12 shots, whatever. Go ahead and charge that battery. Never leave a battery uncharged at the end of the day. The reason being is that you develop a habit, which means you don't have to think about, have I done the batteries, or where am I up to with batteries? I mean, if you've got an intense shoot going where you're shooting and shooting and shooting, obviously you're going to need to have a routine happening there, breaking down the day into a lunchtime charge and whatever. But if you're just shooting a few things, wait till the end, and cycle any batteries that have been used, any of them, even if it's only for one shot. Always carry the spare. Seems like common sense, but yeah, make sure you've got a spare. If you've been following your own routine and charging after you finish, then you'll be good as gold. You've got the spare on hand and a charged spare on hand. Make sure, trying to get this in focus. Make sure that your batteries are stored with the terminals up. These little bits of metal in there, those are the terminals. You want to store your batteries up just to stop all the electricity leaking out. Okay. Maybe go and grab me a can of tartan paint while you're at it too. Okay. Oh yeah. And back to the formatting of cards. I'm just sort of checking my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. Back to the formatting of cards. You format at the start of your day, not at the end. Format at the start, back up at the end. You might have a shoot 2 weeks later, and when you come to start that next shoot, your cards should still be full of the images or the videos that you captured last time. And the reason we do this is so that, I don't know, if your cloud service goes down the gurgler in the 2 weeks, then you've still got your original media sitting there, ready to rock and roll. And of course, when you're starting a new project, then that's the time to format and blitz all that stuff. So there's a couple of little tips on media and power battery management. Okay, so finally, just a very quick chat about shooting completely in auto mode. So all modern DSLRs like this one it's had a bit of a beating. You can see my battery compartment there. I've got to keep it I've got to keep it shut with a piece of tape. It's a little bit ghetto, but it works. So all modern DSLRs will shoot in full auto mode. They're going to vary from here to here with flash modes and so on. But the things that are common with these cameras is that some of them will give you a live shooting view on the back, the back of the camera. Some may not. So this is a little bit of a new thing for some people. When we're used to using phones and stuff, it makes sense. You're seeing what you're shooting, but often some models won't give you a live view. So what we need to do in that instance is just make sure that you are looking up to the eyepiece to see, perhaps take the lens cap off as well, looking up to the eyepiece to see the image that you're shooting, to frame your image and to compose. A half press of the shutter release, a half press will kick in the autofocus. And for people like me whose eyesight's not very good, I can adjust the diopter on the eyepiece to match my vision. This camera also mercifully has focus assist, so I can see a bright yellow warning sign in the viewfinder area to show me where focus is. It's an absolute godsend because I really can't see this sort of detail anymore. Look after your eyes, everyone. Don't do what I did, looking into the sun and so on. No, I never did that. So a half press gives you the focus, sets the autofocus off. A full press takes the shot. Okay, too easy. On the cameras that we use at RMIT, the Canon things, you'll find there's an autofocus switch on the lens barrel itself. Awesome. So you can switch back and forth to manual and auto focus, and it is well worth experimenting with the manual focus to have a go. The other thing that we see with these types of lenses is generally at the back is the zoom control. So as a zoom lens on this camera from 12 to 40mm, which is a good sort of versatile range of lens lengths, they're called. So from 12mm I'm seeing a very wide shot. From into 40mm it's becoming a much more narrow frame. So the lower the number, the wider the view. The higher the number, the tighter the view. Okay, all stuff that's worth playing with. My suggestion is to grab a hold of a camera, get everything set up in auto mode, full auto mode, do some experimenting, see what works, see what appears to be a little bit tricky, experiment with zoom and maybe the manual focus sort of stuff as well. And most of all, have fun. Shoot a lot of stuff. It's the way to get better. Okay, thanks.